Wow, that's violent.
Hello, everybody. It's me, RDV. I'm here with Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Or
Hey.
Abbott Costello. You can decide who's who.
Do I get to be Costello? Please let me be Costello. Everybody loves Costello.
Do I get to be leaving?
Don't stop believing, Green.
Ah!
There goes the Zach jokes for the night.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'll prove it.
Yes. Tonight we're talking about the second part of our conversation about Batman Strange Apparitions. There is if you haven't already seen our first part, there's a link down below to the first stream we did about them, the first 3 issues. Tonight we're talking about the last 3 issues, 474, 475, and 476 of Batman Detective Comics by Marshall Rogers and Steve Englehart.
Yeah,
Yep.
Englehart, yeah.
But
that's right. God, it feels like a long time ago since we talked about the first
well, yeah, because somebody decided not to show up for last week.
I'm sorry. I was on a beach eating s'mores and looking for crabs. There's going to be a joke
Were you able to find crabs?
Yes, actually, I was. There are a lot.
Sorry about your luck.
I walked into that one. Yeah, no. I liked it. Oh, are we just gonna do overall impressions first?
Well,
I don't do impressions. My training's in psychiatry.
He's dead on tonight. Just like Hugo Strange, he's dead on with his psychology.
Oh.
No. I guess before we get into the in depth, we'll go issue by issue. Well, I'll start off. This is my first time reading through this story. Was the first one. I've read the other 2 before. Probably almost half a year ago.
Right, you read 474 and 475?
75 and 76 I read.
Oh, 75 and 76. Oh, okay.
76 we actually read. 476 we actually read on I Love Comics.
Ah.
Yes. So yeah, this was an interesting story, and I'm curious if Hugo Strange was alive this whole entire time. This was just a psychosis thing he put on, hypnotism, or if he really is dead.
It was an elaborate ruse.
That's my takeaway from this whole entire run, because obviously we see a ghost haunting Rupert Thorne through the issues, but I was wondering, did he make him believe that, or was this actually the actual ghost of
at the time of the story? I think he was an actual ghost, but since no one stays dead in comics, he was brought back. So that's
makes sense.
Just in the context of the story, it's just we'll labor under the assumption that he was a ghost.
Well, because the way the TV show Gotham and some of the other comic books, they always try to make the Hugo Strange superior to everybody else. Yeah.
Remember, this Hugo Strange hadn't been used in decades. So one of the things that was so brilliant about this run was he reintroduced Hugo Strange and Deadshot and created Boss Thorne. All 3 are still major. Well, 2 of the 3 are still major characters today.
Yeah,
I don't know how long. I don't know when was the last time anybody used Boss Thorne, but
the 90s.
I think he might have been one of the Arkham games, maybe.
He was in the Batman.
No, I'm thinking of Simon. No. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Simon Stagg.
No.
But he was a great character, and Mensch and Conway used him.
Yeah, because I've only heard of Rupert Thorne through the Batman animated series, through that one episode where he went on Batman's cape and cowl, but it turned out it was even Thorne. It was Bruce Wayne posing as that.
Well, speaking of the animated series, you might know this, Fink, more than I do. I know you've seen the animated series. Isn't the whole Joker fish, that's one of the animated series episodes, isn't it?
There was
based on the fish?
That was when he was on those garbage. What are those things? They use barges. It was for the garbage. He was gonna do the Joker gas, and they had the fish and stuff. That was one of the episodes they had.
Yeah, it's I was and I was like, this sounds really familiar.
But so was the Hugo Strange giving bidding out the identity of Bruce Wayne or Batman.
Just for the for context or whatever the word is I'm trying to think of. DC had a series. It was called Legends of the DC Universe. That was in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Mhm.
They did a sequel to the Jokerfish story involving where they involved Aquaman because it was obviously
Yes.
his domain.
Ah.
So that's if you had a chance to check that out. I can't remember the exact issues, but I'm sure it'd be easy to Google. And
The goot.
I do remember it being a pretty good story.
Yes.
Cool.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about 474, 5, and 6.
Well, let's start out with 474.
Let's.
That is an awesome cover.
I like that.
Do you want me to full screen it for you, sir?
Absolutely.
All right.
Blow them up.
This is one of the coolest covers I've ever seen.
And his new costume too.
Yeah, that's right. This is his first costume with the silver helmet, right?
Yeah, because before well, he'd only made one appearance prior to this issue.
Right, where he's
Batman
like
59, where he's in a top hat
with the gun, yeah,
with the dapper.
Which they actually show in this. They show in here inside. Look at the back of that cover, or the back part of the book, the ads and everything too. You never see that anymore.
The ads.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, did you see where Marvel did a facsimile of the first Spider-Man annual?
No, I did not.
The back cover is the back cover from the 1964 annual.
That's cool.
Wow.
So and apparently they did all the ads. Yeah, it's just like a perfect reproduction or close.
That's awesome.
To thereof. But
you know, that's the only time I actually wanted to do a facsimile of a book and keep the ads.
Oh yeah,
wait,
that's
yeah.
Because today the ads are like the Ford Bronco, or
they're cool time capsules. Unfortunately, it was $8.
Ooh,
and
for the facsimile.
Oh,
yeah, and I've got the story, so I don't have the annual.
When was that released?
It came out this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Wow.
Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah.
I didn't see that. Is that like one of the True Believers facsimiles, or?
I don't know if it didn't have the True Believer banner.
Oh, because okay.
I was about to say because that's what I look for.
At first glance on the shelf, it would have looked like, holy crap, who put this 9.8 of the first Spider-Man annual up on the shelf? But it was cool looking. But yeah, again, I said I don't know that it was $8 cool if you already have the story.
So, yeah.
Right. I mean, if you have the story, you have the actual first annual. It's like, I think you're pretty well off, or you're broke now.
Well, when I got it, you could get that annual and not be broke. Now it's not even something you can entertain.
Yeah, right. You can just daydream about it.
You know, that's actually one of the things I never read. To go back and read the Spider-Man stuff, I never read the annuals. So
annuals in those days were must reads because that is the first Sinister Six storyline. The second one was a Doctor Strange.
See, I know I missed a lot. I read the normal stories, crossovers, but I didn't read the annuals.
The third Spider-Man, the Avengers, give Spider-Man a tryout, and his tryout is to capture the Hulk. And I can't remember what happened. In number 4, I think he goes off to Hollywood to film a movie with the Human Torch, and I think we did that on the channel because I was ready to monologue.
It does sound like one that we would have read.
Tells you the villain was. And number 5 was it finally explained the mystery of Peter Parker's parents, where we find out they were spies and knocked.
Oh
off
yeah,
by
for
the Red
Shield.
Skull.
Was that in the annual? Because I remember there was a
Number
plot.
5.
There's a plot with the life model decoys.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did read them. It doesn't. I'm going back and looking at some of these. I don't remember them. It's been 20 years for me. 2001, 2001, 2002.
And then
when I read these,
they might have become reprints until 1976. But again, I'm
enough about that mass menace.
That's
that
right.
hubcap ceiling, skyscraper defacing.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Mass.
Don't do
menace.
He's gonna yell.
Don't you do it. Yes.
Doggone it, you son of a gun. Anyway.
Language, Zach.
Yes.
I know.
Zach.
Look, I know. I tamed it down for the stream in case there were young, impressionable ears this time.
This isn't Pleasantville.
It's not
I know Toby.
Pleasantville. I was aiming for Smallville.
I know that Toby was in both movies, but still.
But anyway,
All right, so
so yeah, go ahead.
474 begins with Batman and Robin back in the Batcave, and one
Having
of the things
bro moment
that I absolutely loved about this story was so many people. Again, Batman's default personality is always dark, always brooding, never gives an inch, never.
Yes.
Yeah, this showed them to be not mentor mentee. They had become friends.
Yeah, like we are doing. They insult each other.
This was the last. This was they soon did away with that, and because once Robin dropped out of college, that had created a rift between the two of them, and then that went through him changing identities and everything. So this was like the last time you saw this
In the cave too. Yeah.
friends and equals. And it was just such a neat scene. I mean, the getting the call from Wonder Girl and Robin wanting to go, and Batman saying you go, and that he makes the comment about seeing those two girls. He goes, you stick to Silver St. Cloud, son, leave the heavy stuff to the experts. And then Batman's inner monologue after he leaves, he just goes, "It was good seeing you, pal." I thought that was a really neat.
Before that, they kind of like wrestled, because Dick, they haven't really teamed up in a while. So it was just see how fit each other are. So he said that they're both laughing, sitting on the ground on the cave. Batman says you're still kind of sloppy behind. You're kind of wet behind the ears.
Yeah. For somebody that only wrote 8 issues of Batman,
understand it more than anybody else.
I think Steve Englehart got the character as good, if not better, than anybody that's ever written him.
Yep.
It's a shame that he was only available for a year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Detective Comics was only being published 7 times a year at the time.
Yeah.
So
no, but that was interesting to see. Like it takes right after the whole the Robin thing, and then he's like just talking. They're just kind of going over the case, and seeing them kind of like fighting and And like it said, it was kind of cool to see it. And then the art on this too with Donna Troy, I was like, wow, Donna, you look a little more stacked in this issue than you do normally.
That's true.
I was like,
they're not the new Teen Titans at this point, are they? Or are they?
No. This was actually
still the original team.
Yeah,
yes.
the call that
issue
Robin
54.
gets.
Yeah,
53. It's where the team breaks up, and that's where the book ends.
Oh,
but. We go to Gotham Penitentiary.
Yeah.
Floyd Lawton's cooling his heels, and Penguin. Wow. He thought he'd be smarter than that. Yeah, I'm going to use this to break out here. Take a good look at it.
the monocle.
When he snatches it. I love the way that the dialogue is written in the panel. He goes, "Give that back to me, you." And it just kind of like, instead of just being a normal panel, it's just sort of like, it kind of illustrates just like, oh, you're screwed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I forgot that Gotham even had their own prison because it's always Blackgate this or no. It's like it's never Arkham.
They had created Arkham already, but Blackgate hadn't been created yet.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, and it gives Penguin without bossy. It's like I'll be on in a second. He's like Floyd's like it's like yeah, it's true. I've been here for a while since issue 39 or 41 or whatever it was. With
59.
Yeah.
59. Yeah, where they show him in the top hat.
Yeah. He's like, it's true up in here, like you and the likes of Joker and all them are just revolving doors. So he's like, so when the Penguin said it, he's like, really? You can do that thing? Yoink!
So dumb bird.
The time for the bat hunt. The other thing was going on is Silver St. Cloud as a previous issue. She's been questioning everything that's going on, and then this issue with Floyd Lawton coming to basically, she's got to show Bruce off to her work exhibit.
But before that, Batman goes and has a conversation with Rupert Thorne.
Yes,
and I like the way you do that. That Rupert gets uppity with him,
paranoid, yeah.
And Batman says, I'll knock it off. There are no voters around to impress. And then when he gets done threatening him. Hugo, the ghost of Hugo Strange shows up.
Yeah, it's weird.
And he's really starting to unravel at this point because he's He says, this is the second time. The third one will be the end. Now, something I said when we were talking 2 weeks ago, I said, I don't know if this was traced over a photograph, but the next panel where Silver and Bruce are meeting for lunch.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, full screening that.
Yep.
Look at that panel.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's
a lot of candy bars.
At the time, I'd been in this hobby for I've been in this time for fuck you. I'd been in this hobby for about a year and a half by then. That was the coolest panel I'd ever seen.
That was really neat.
No, yeah, the whole, it just looks like you watch a TV show when they show like the cars going by, the city, the skyline, everything.
Yeah.
So
if that's freehand, that must have taken days. I unfortunately.
Now digital, half an hour.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not around to ask. But and they're making small talk, and Bruce, you get some insight into his into his feelings because he's mentioning his first love, Julie Madison, who he lost. They brought her back right around the same time. She went off to become royalty of some postage stamp company or country. But he mentions that the people that he's been involved with before love Bruce Wayne. Unlike Clark Kent, he goes, but Bruce Wayne has become a daytime mask for the Batman. He goes,
right.
Problem is, would I have it any other way?
Right.
Now,
that's how I've
conflict.
Always.
Yeah, because that's his conflict, because she is making him question that. Because he says, it matters to me what she thinks. Mm-hmm. So I thought that, I said, again, Englehart just gets these characters, and Silver St. Cloud in just a handful of issues is already indispensable to the Bat lore. I think.
So there's three things that happen next. After first she takes her to her place of work. They shows her off. Then we see
she's a convention planner, right?
Yeah. We see. Actually, no. This is It goes right to the dinner. Then I think it's right on point. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the dinner scene. They're having dinner, and there's you hear what they're both thinking.
Now, and he's worried that because she's super sharp. She's asking these questions, and because he knows Gordon. She's like, as far as I know, you've never been one to care about talking about the Batman and crime and all that stuff. It's like, so why are you all chummy with Gordon all of a sudden? She's like,
actually, that's the other way around. And this is again something that it's where I'm going to give you the benefit of me having read all the old stories as well. In the very early days of Detective Comics, Batman would be sitting around listening to the radio, the crime reports. Yeah. He was, he would hang out with Jim Gordon and pretend to be the, bored of everything, foppish, spoiled millionaire. She references that. It says, you used to be so interested in the crime reports, and I know you used to be friends with Jim Gordon. She goes, now I know you're still friends with him, but you don't seem to care anything about crime. Why is that? And the best line he can come up with was, well, when I was younger, I didn't have as many responsibilities as Wayne at Wayne Enterprises. So I had more time to pay attention to it. Now I don't. And that's what he goes, wow, she's really starting to zero in on.
Yeah.
But what else do you expect from a guy that brings back someone that hadn't been seen since Batman #1?
Yeah.
Right.
So she's already suspecting all that stuff. That Bruce is maybe hiding his strange behavior from the day before. And now, so later on, her exhibit actually no. Before we get there, Batman's on the rooftop, and then shots fired past his collar. It's Deadshot and his brand new costume. It's like a TV show. It's like it's like you see him up there, standing up. He's so high up there. It's like it just looks like those Japanese Kamen Rider things. Like there's a bad guy up there. It's like
camera zooms in on it.
I know exactly. Camera zoom, everything. Shiny.
I love the way they do that panel though. When he goes, I know you can hear me. This is Deadshot Deadshot. Like,
Yeah.
because
That one guy.
there's
As you
always a
see-
chance because
Yeah.
how many people has Batman fought between Deadshot? So it's almost like I better remind you.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm here.
It's great though. What he says, he's like, "See, my guns are now in my arm, so now I can directly, instead of holding those sports guns, now it's directly feeding from my hate into each bullet."
My hate fuels my ammunition. Yeah. It's like, dude, okay, dude,
And-
you're a little emo right there, but okay, sure.
As they're fighting, the cop, of course, wants to fire on the Batman. Silver stops him because at the time, Boss Thorne had remember he had an edict that
Right.
Batman
They fell through the skylight into the exhibit.
that Batman was to be arrested.
Public
if,
enemy
on-
number
yeah.
one. Yeah.
And then you find out just how desperate Deadshot's become over the years, where he said, where Batman says, you could hurt innocents. He goes, I don't care. He goes, I might have cared before, but I don't care now. He goes, I want what I want. I don't care how I get it.
Yeah.
So tells him how serious it is. And
the giant typewriter.
yeah, that's an homage to older Batman stories.
And DC, they spelled out DC.
And we get we get that inside the book as well.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Then Batman takes him out. Now, then he sees Silver.
Yes,
they lock eyes, and she knows. Now,
instantly.
Yeah,
I want you to think about something. For those of you, my two young charges here, who read
the voices in your head, sir.
Who read a lot of new comics. Deadshot makes his appearance at the battle on page 11. He is dispatched by page 16. And it doesn't feel rushed whatsoever. Think about how much they put into these 17 pages. And like I said, you get it. It felt full. It felt satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, and this was at a time where comic stories were the least amount. 17 is as small as they. I don't know why it's shrunk down to that, but only having 17 pages to work with, and what he's able to cram into that, when you think about just how decompressed they are now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Nowadays, that same fight scene might take up an entire issue, if not two.
Yeah, that's and it's totally unnecessary.
Or the whole entire thing you lead up is you don't get the fight scene until the very end. It's like, wait till next month.
Oh, yeah. Like they'll give you the
I hate that.
cliffhanger. Yeah.
It's like next month they fight, and then they fight for like a page or two, and then it's done.
Yeah, now
They'll show them on the cover fighting, and so you'll be like, "Oh, they're gonna fight in this issue," and then that's the cliffhanger, and you're like, "What on earth?"
Well, you say, I know you can hear me. This is Deadshot. Continued next month, first page of the new book. Well, no, it wouldn't be because they don't do splash pages anymore. But the second page, Deadshot.
Yeah, the first page will be an ad for a different Twilight book.
Yeah, probably.
It's like
It'll be that Sandman ad that's in all the DC books these days.
that is literally some of the books they had. The first page was a Sandman ad, and then you got to the title page. I was like, "What is this crap?"
Yeah, not having something to catch your eye. It's bad enough that you don't get them on the covers anymore, unless you're looking at the trade dress list paintings, whatever. And then you open up the book, and there's either just like a recap, which should be on the back of the front cover, so you can catch the eye with the splash page. But again, I say, it's there's a lawn somewhere, and I've got to tell some people to get off of it. So get back in. So we're on Batman or Detective Comics 475.
75, and
The first appearance of the Joker's fish,
Yes.
the laughing fish.
yeah,
Joker was in
he
474.
was in 474. He did have an appearance.
He was. Yes.
That mysterious laugh.
Because one thing we forgot to say is that Batman's not the only one who swings in that issue. Floyd Lawton, Deadshot, fired a grappling hook and swung, and Batman chased him.
I hate that joke. I don't like it.
You don't have to like it.
I don't
But you'll
like
guarantee you may not love it, but you'll accept it, as the great
No.
macho man used to say.
You are not the great macho man, sir.
I'm not, because I can't sell it like Breen can.
Ooh, yeah.
See,
He's
where's
got
my
a gift.
we get Hulk Hogan in our readings, but we never get Macho Man. I've noticed that.
Wait. I'll see if I can get him to make an appearance one day.
It was so nice you got to hear it twice.
Now we'll clip that for our sound bites.
I might bring him out.
Yeah, don't keep him in the closet. Let him out.
I might have to stab into a Slim Jim.
The reading is gonna hope a Slim Jim open up. Ooh yeah!
Step to a Slim Jim.
Eat me. But no, yeah. So while there's that panel right there, you see there were Swan's like, "You gotta chase me if you want to get me, Batman." And he's swinging away, and then Batman goes after him on the grappling hook. And then you see the laughter. It's the Joker just watching him as they go by. The Joker actually was going to visit, I believe,
Thorn.
Thorn, yes.
Yeah.
Because he knows that Thorn was at that auction
The bidding.
where he and Penguin and Thorn were there.
He also
Hugo Strange was going to auction off Batman's identity.
He also mentions that Hugo Strange has gone missing, and I bet you have something to do with that. Probably because he didn't know, he wouldn't give you the identity, or he didn't know. But I'm sure we're skipping over a few things that happened in this 475. But there is more Silver St. Cloud. Her struggling. Her also getting appearance from Batman.
Knocking on his window.
Because Bruce had noticed in his Batman that she wanted to say something, but she didn't say anything before he left. As Batman.
So Bruce's first thought was, let me go to her window in my Batman costume, and if that doesn't give her a heart attack, then maybe she'll tell me what she was thinking.
And then she's in her bathrobe, towel wrapped around her, and he starts noticing her thighs at the bottom of, and you can't tell if she's flirting with him or whatever, but he's like, he's like, you seemed to want to say something to me before, and she's like, oh no, nothing, It's like, why would I know anything? He's like, oh, my mistake. Well,
yeah.
And in this game, he just stares at her awkwardly, and she says, she's like, say something, or like, he's like, oh, someone needs to say something. So then he just says, I apologize. He goes out the window, and she's like, I need to go. Before he leaves, she's like, I'm late for a dinner, the date with my boyfriend.
With Bruce, yeah.
Yeah. And so he goes out, and then he calls her. He's like, I'm going to be running a little late. Because like, are you an idiot? If you thought that she knew, why would you say they're going to be a little running late? Now she knows you have to go change out your costume. So she cancels on him because she's like, oh yeah, it's like, it's okay. We can reschedule for another time.
Reschedule, like Bruce, you dummy.
Well, see, the whole thing of this scene though was how awkward it was, because do I take the mask off and end this? What if she doesn't know? Because he's so careful with this. Now, again, in Bat books, he was super careful. In books like the Justice League and World's Finest, every swinging dick knew who he was. And
but
again, you just kind of have to pretend that none of that stuff. If you can just divorce your mind from the rest of the silliness that might have been going on around it, and just focus on this story. I thought this scene was just perfect.
I did like it because it does show, like, he spends all of this, like you said, Batman is the person, Bruce Wayne is the mask, and so he spends so much time being Batman that he's forgotten, he doesn't know how to function like Bruce Wayne.
Like Vang made a good point. It's like,
he's flustered.
Idiot. You just let the cat out of the bag if you hadn't already. But where Batman is fully analytical, Bruce Wayne is flustered, and that's who's in control right now, because Bruce Wayne is in love with Silver St. Cloud, and it's kind of affecting, you might say, it's clouded his judgment.
But But I'm sure there's a silver linings there somewhere.
Ah! Come on, Zach, make a saint joke.
Oh, I can't think of one. God dog it.
He's not a saint after all.
No, that's Anyway.
Just like the Saints, no one cares.
Hey, now that's just rude. No one's calling for that kind of harassment. Anyway, so he cancels the date, which I mean, yeah, he's flustered, and I actually do like that as a storytelling mechanism, for reasons I just explained. But yeah, so that wraps up, and Batman goes back off on patrol. I believe this is where a fisherman calls him down. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one where the fisherman calls him down. He's like, "Look at this fish." And it's got like the Joker smile on it. It's like, okay, first of all, you just called down Batman to look at a fish.
Well, no, it's got the Joker face. That makes it now. But let's you know what have made this? There's one thing that could have made this scene perfect. If Batman's inner monologue had said, "I just left a 10 in a towel to look at fucking Joker fish."
Actually, would have been better if it would have been Robin. Robin saying, "Gee, Batman, so many fishies going on around here."
Yeah, it's about 20 years too late for that.
I know.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that Batman, he is not having a good night. Yeah, he just left the best thing he could have, and he went to.
He's because the guy's like, "Look at the fish," and Batman kind of snaps on him. He's like, "What do you want? Leave it alone." And it's like, he's like, "Oh, there's my bad."
Realize I'm the world's greatest detective, and you're coming to me with a fish.
And then we get the Joker, breaking into, I guess the
patent office.
The patent office,
isn't it? Yeah, I remembered this from the animated series cartoon because he goes into the patent office and he wants to make a quarter every time someone sells like a fish sandwich or something.
Yeah,
and the patent officer is like, "Well, you can't patent fish; they're a natural resource." And he's like, "Hey, that Colonel guy is able to, make his money off a chicken." That's Colonel with a C, by the way. No repeats of that
when
joke.
They don't even have mustaches. Yeah, so he threatens the guy.
Yeah,
makes all of his fish puns, and then we find out how homicidal the Joker is.
He did, well, that last one, he's like, "You'll be dead as a mackerel."
No, so
when he's out on the street,
with his henchman.
Oh yeah, the one,
just for asking a question.
Just pushes him out in front of a bus.
I mean, I can't believe that's still as frowned upon these days. You used to be able to do that, and no one cared. No one would bat an eye.
That was actually, I mean, as much as I'm over the Joker, I was like, hey, this guy is actually stone cold killer.
Honestly, today's Joker is a lot less harmless compared to these early Jokers. The Joker was more disturbing, especially when we got especially when Jack Nicholson in his version of the movie kind of made it much more cement. You see an actual real person, but still the comic book form, he was much more diabolical, much more twisted.
This Joker could exist.
Yes.
If we go back to, let's just throw out Death of the Family in New 52 or the Joker Wars, there would have to be 3 of them. I guess that's probably why they did that.
Yeah.
Which is patently ridiculous. And he's so overpowered now that I said, but this was who the Joker was meant to be. Somebody unpredictable, homicidal, just dangerous as a human can possibly be.
My question is,
I think Batman even says that at some point in the issue.
There's only one flaw with this whole entire thing of the Joker thing. Who the hell would be his henchman? Are you nuts?
Hey man, money is money.
That's a fair question.
I can see the Penguin. I can see the other guys, but I'm like, the Joker, he'll just shoot you like he did the guy. He just pushed him from a truck for asking a question.
The other guys that are with him are like, well, shoot, I was going to ask him if I could go to the bathroom, but I think I'll hold it now.
I already went, bro.
I think I wore the brown pants.
Oh man, I just always thought about this. Joker's got all his henchmen. It's like, man, does he just recruit his own, or does the people that sign up? It's like, I want to work for the Joker, yeah. And And I'm thinking like,
You
go ahead,
fool.
Sal. I'll see you later. I'm going to work for Two-Face. At least I won't get shot.
So, yeah, that's wrapped up in the Joker. He's got a busy day. He's got to go. Yeah, he's got to go threaten Thorne again. At this point,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he basically said, "I know you bid on the Batman's identity." He goes, "We can't have that." And he goes, "No one gets to know that." He goes, including me. He goes,
including him. Yeah.
He goes,
So
I need the Batman. So again, it's the one. No, the Joker is not in love with the Batman. He doesn't have sexual fantasies about the Batman. Modern writers, the Batman is, he's Moriarty, and Batman is his Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly.
It's the eternal game.
He's in it for the game. Yeah.
Yes. And the difference is when you're a homicidal maniac, you don't care about the collateral damage. So that's what makes these stories so good. This is the Joker the way he should be.
Well,
this explains their relationship perfectly.
So that's why I kind of like Heath Ledger when he did the whole pencil thing, like in the pencil the magic trick, making the pencil disappear. I got chills, kind of like this kind of Joker. Like, it's like he's just ready to kill anybody. He doesn't care. He just kills them.
Yeah. Well, Heath Ledger's Joker could actually exist, just like we were saying this one could. Yeah. I think, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got these scars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I apologize for the horrible impersonation. I wasn't trying to. It was just me being Ingleton, trying to do impersonation.
So the Joker makes his threats and leaves. And this time, Rupert doesn't need Hugo Strange. He goes, "I'm out."
He's like, "I'm skipping town."
Yeah, he kicks his driver out of the limo.
Yeah.
And takes off. Then we get to that night. The patent dude who's under Batman's protection.
Yep, and the Gotham PD
dies anyway. Finds out that the Joker released something at noon, then at 12. The two individually, are harmless, but put together, it's lethal. So
because
the Joker, and he calls us, 3 hours. I'm killing somebody else.
I'm killing the next person down the ladder. Yeah.
So the story ends with, Rupert's driving and Silver St. Cloud is hitchhiking. She gets in his car and they take off as a storm begins. I said, this is, again, that's for a setup issue. There's still a hell of a lot that happens in 17 pages.
I'm disappointed.
I also like how across like this whole these three issues and then the 3 issues that we talked about 2 weeks ago. I like how there are like these little side stories in there. Like there's the Penguin story and the Hugo Strange story, but like they're all also like they all include bits and like crucial bits and pieces of this overall story. That's being told.
That's called continuity.
Yeah. It's called. They're called subplots. You used to have those.
Yep, and they're just done so well.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I said this is it's. Does he stick the landing? We're going to find out with issue 476. I mean, it's been these 6 issues that they did together have been building to this.
Yep. That was the first one was Deadshot, Ricochet, the titles, and then the last one was Laughing Fish. This is Laughing Fish, or actually no, part 2, but it's called Sign of the Joker.
Sign of the Joker, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very fun book. There's an awesome cover. Batman with the Joker face grin.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, the cover to 475 is considered the iconic one of this story.
Yeah.
I've always liked 476 better.
It kind of looks like Spawn there with that kite going on forever.
I could see that.
or the what was the not the shroud? What was it? The cloak and dagger. So
cloak and dagger. Yeah.
So it's cloak right there. Just like this.
It doesn't hurt that I think this might be my favorite detective logo. I mean, the profile shot of Batman might seem a little silly, but just the way the cape, envelops the title itself. I always like that.
Well, I like the original logo for the Detective Comics stuff.
That's really cool too. I mean,
the fact that they went away from that, kind of irritates me because I just don't like the new logo. I like that original logo. I mean, over the years it's changed, but at that time, the 400s, I think that was probably like the best time to have that because the art all around it was great. Not take away from the original art from the early days of Detective Comics, but man, just you had such talented artists doing the covers. And
I should say the original logo is the best.
Yeah.
But of all the ones they've been through since then, this was my favorite.
Yeah.
So we get to 476. Batman's on the job again, guarding the second guy from the patent office, and he's
Is it the second guy that has the cat, or is it the third guy?
the second guy.
The second guy, yeah, the second guy with the cat. I was like, oh wow, that was the way that all unfolded. I thought was really cool.
And he attacks Batman, and what? Batman dies? No.
What? Say it ain't so. Oh, it's not. The victim is wearing Batman's costume while Batman is wearing like this, almost like a Mission Impossible mask. Like he's made to look like the
right.
victim.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
Basic chameleon mask.
Chameleon mask, yeah.
Marvel.
So that was actually really cool because the cat knows who the owner is or who his owner is, and so when he goes crazy, he goes straight for who he's supposed to.
Now, we also find out in this issue that Silver St. Cloud knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Well,
Yep.
she knew that.
Yeah, but now it's really cemented it.
Now, Batman takes off. He thinks he sees something. Yeah, thinks he sees Hugo Strange, and then finds something called a vapor analysis meter.
I was gonna say because when we were talking, it was like I think you were saying you thought Hugo Strange was dead, but then I remembered that, and I was like, oh,
so I don't know if that was a red herring or if that was a clue that he wasn't, or if that was an out just in case someone wanted to bring him back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's referenced again it didn't because Englehart left the book after this issue.
And and then they never went back to the story, talked about it, references.
But I'm sure they did, but I mean, I don't. It's memory's a little hazy. I read these 4 or 5 years ago.
Because honestly, that would be the make the most Hugo Strange to keep his how awesome he is. I could see him hypnotizing Rupert Thorne into believing that he is.
But he was beaten to death and thrown in the river. So I mean,
that's true.
He was killed. So again, but it's comics, so you never know. Now,
Hugo Strange has an even more evil.
He wanted you to believe that he was beaten to death and thrown in the river. That was all somebody else.
Now that might have been the out that another writer.
Yes,
used.
I know.
So
things see all right for you.
We get back. No, that might actually be what they did. They might have said that's what they did.
Yeah.
So we get back to the Joker, who's just in his batshit craziest, and he's out thinking himself, going, "What if people stop eating fish?"
It's like, no, the vegans wouldn't go along with that.
Well, I don't think there was vegan a thing.
Or vegan or vegetarian?
It's vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah, yes.
I could use chemical in cattle, and then he goes, Joker burgers, outrageous. So I said, this guy, this is the Joker.
Yep.
And then we get to Rupert and Silver, and you notice Silver's working on a heater there.
Yep.
And they
a gun, guys. For those who don't know what a heater is, a gun.
Yeah.
Not anything else.
Yeah, if this were a Marvel comic now, it'd be a pretzel.
Well, no, I'm just saying that she's not into Rupert Thorne. Okay, so she's not grabbing his heater. She's got a gun.
No, she's smoking.
Yeah,
that's what I say. Yeah, because I said it's back then. It didn't have the stigma that it eventually had. But as if they republished this at Marvel, she'd be sucking on a pretzel rod.
Right.
So
yeah.
they're sitting in silence, and then a bulletin comes over the radio about Batman, and Rupert starts teeing off on him, and Silver defends him.
Right.
And they get into a heated argument to the point to where he kicks her out of the car.
Yep.
And
which is funny because wasn't he saying before this whole thing happens, he's thinking to himself like, well, the ghost of Hugo Strange won't bother me because he seems honorable and he won't attack me if this woman's in the car because she's an innocent.
But she pisses him off, and
But she
Rupert
pisses him
Thorne
off,
has
yeah.
a temper that gets the better of him. It gets the better of his judgment.
Yep.
Now, the only thing that you could say, okay, this is kind of a, cheap plot device. She happens upon a guy with a private plane. Kind of convenient, but again, we're going to go with it because,
Do we ever find out like who it is that owns the plane?
I don't think it's important who does.
Oh, okay.
Just as I said, she just charters it to get back, and then we find out he probably should have let her stay in the car because here comes Hugo. Oh, there'll be another hitchhiker, and you see Hugo with his thumb sticking out. That's awesome.
Yeah, pixel thumbs.
And then he comes through the car, chokes him out, and then it's time for the main event. What was that? What's that? He says there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
Zach has no idea what we're talking about.
No.
Was it that reading that I wasn't there for?
No. That's what Mark Henry says Friday night.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which tomorrow night will be 2 days after the return of Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Omega. Umaga.
Who I understand isn't even close to being fully ready to wrestle again.
No.
Anyway, it's time for the Batman and the Joker to get after it, which they do. And of course, as they're fighting, Silver arrives in time to watch them fighting. On the rooftops, on the fire escapes, steel girders. I mean, there's like I said, there's just going at it.
I mean, on a fire escape at page 12, Joker admits that he's actually Trump.
Yeah.
Joker is Trump.
I mean, just
I read that and I just laughed out loud.
Look at this art. It's kind of like when we were doing what was it? Fantastic 451.
Yeah.
Just the how a good artist can make it really look like it's raining.
The rain, the little beads of drops when it hits.
Yep.
And they're fighting it, and just says, how it's going to end. Obviously, something's going to happen to the Joker, which is open ended, which it is because he ends up. I think there's
page 14. He's in the drink.
Yeah, I think there's a flash of lightning, and he falls off the girder. And
the
drink, and Batman and Silver, confront each other, and the pretense is over.
I think did he get zapped by lightning?
I think they or something close to enough to knock him off.
Yeah.
So they're talking, and she basically says what makes perfect sense is, I love you, but I saw you in action tonight, not on a news report, I said, I saw it, and I go, I can't do this.
She can't be a cop wife.
I can't. I love you, but I could never, know if you were coming. When you wouldn't be coming home.
Right.
And so they have the kiss. She runs away from him. Gordon shows up and says, good news, Batman. The Ohio State Patrol picked up Rupert Thorne. He's confessed to everything going back to Prohibition. And it's just like, you're clear and, happy ending. And so basically they do all this in 16 pages because the last page is just, Batman
swinging away.
Off to the never ending battle.
Yeah. It's just
with the Moon Knight symbol.
It's just, to me, just an absolute masterpiece.
Now, I didn't like the way they draw Silver here because she looked like Mrs. Kent. The hair.
Well, she wasn't glammed out. I mean, she.
Oh no!
Because remember,
hair's in a bun, and I'm just thinking like, wow, she looks like she's in her 60s.
But it was pouring.
I know.
So she looked better, in a towel, in the issue before, but yeah. So okay. Overall,
it's just the hairstyle that she was wearing. Just silver hair.
It looked like. Do you remember the grandmother in the Tweety and Sylvester cartoons?
Yes,
it's that.
Yeah, as I said, like, wow,
it's-
what person? How old is she supposed to be? In her 20s or in her 80s? It was just really weird.
Okay, so the 6 issues as a whole.
Great
Zach, I
Batman.
know you're not you're not necessarily a Batman guy, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not necessarily a huge Batman fan, but just like the storytelling, the way that the different plots were woven together, the way that they were able to fit in so much, like you said, in such a small amount of pages per issue, it really does make it stand out. You know, especially today, where, like we were saying, you can have a whole issue be like a setup issue and not have anything really move forward. I thought this was really great.
I think there are stories throughout the history of comics where where just everything clicks.
Hmm.
And if it were that easy, there'd be a ton more of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Dark Phoenix saga. It's like there's about 8 issues where there are no missteps.
Yeah.
You get this. I said, year one. They're just. I said, it's magic when it happens, and for some reason, this story does not get thought of in the same vein as a lot of those other ones that are considered all-time classics, and I honestly
Mhm.
don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. It really is. There's not one story beat. There's not one subplot or a plot point that doesn't tie into a different plot point or a different story. It's all interwoven. It's really, really good storytelling. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be, I'm going to throw it on the list of Batman stories that, I mean, there's bigger ones, obviously, like No Man's Land and Hush, like the big names. And now I'm gonna end up including this on that list because yeah, it was a darn good, entertaining Batman story.
It just felt like, what they normally would do in the Batman series. They take the comic books. You can see why they chose certain books. The Strange Apparitions was actually part of what they did in the animated series because, on some note or somewhere, it was popular, but I guess it wasn't too popular by comic book fans, which is really weird because the whole Joker and yeah, we've seen Joker and Batman fight before, and it's like, and Joker ends up either going into the drink or missing or whatever, something happens, everybody thinks he's dead, but like this was kind of crazy. The whole Joker fish, Joker pushing somebody in front of a car just because they said something, and not only that, it just there were all 6 issues. You had a different villain almost,
And you had to have Joker's
and
exit from the story be something like this because if he's dragging him out of the lake, or out of the drink, he really doesn't have time to stop and have the scene with Silver.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's theoretically gone to his death, it allows for that scene. So that
felt like a movie to me.
Yeah, it really did. The first time I got to do the aficionados, one of the topics was best Batman stories, and this was the one I talked about. So I said this is my favorite. Yeah,
It's a good one for sure.
For those who are wondering what Zach's doing, he's actually doing Breen's job at his house.
yeah, I'm not on. If you're wondering why isn't Zach's face on the screen, I am rebagging and boarding a bunch of comics that I have. I'm trying to tidy up my collection. So I've been doing this while we talk about Batman.
It's part of the new contract he signed for the next 4 years. He can't be on camera.
I can't be. Apparently, these videos do better when I'm not on camera.
Look, we're 8 people. We're talking about you not being on camera. They're just coming in.
See? Yeah. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, we went from 6 to 8.
Oh, hey, all right, right on. They're like, Zach's not on?
Oh, we lost one.
Well, obviously somebody wanted to see that pretty face.
Yeah.
I don't know who, but
so I saw we're live, so the thumbnail, they realized we weren't showing the book page by page. Yeah. I guess people expect when you see a live stream, people talking about a book, they expect us to see the book the whole entire time, not see us.
That might be something that we might have to do, because I know there are channels that do that. I know Like
That-
Wes will do that.
that-
He'll show panels.
Well, but a lot of that's done as videos, and they go back and edit it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And then, we could just do this. We could just have Brandon up the whole entire time, and you hear us, and he's holding the book.
You could
Braden's
do
like,
it
I
the
don't
way
want that.
you could do it the way we do the readings, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually do have access to the DC stuff.
And
So.
that might be something that we should consider down the road.
Sure.
Yeah. Just so we can show off like that beautiful cityscape panel that we were talking about.
But you know what happens on this channel? If we show a book off like that, we're gonna read it.
It's gonna turn
Roll
into an
that
impromptu.
beautiful bean footage.
And you'll have the French Batman. Le Batman
Le Bat.
as he leaps from rooftop to rooftop.
And
Oh
so
no,
while-
that's Le Batroc. That's a
yeah,
different
so,
bat.
so while Ash was prattling in the last stream, I was reading some Englehart Silver Surfers.
Nice.
Now, when this series started, Marshall Rogers was the artist. He didn't hang around long, though, unfortunately. But
He passed away of cancer or something.
about 20 years after this, but
No, but I'm just saying.
yeah, he
That's
died
why-
like 2007, right? Not pretty close to when Michael Turner died.
Oh wow.
I mean, within a
I
year.
remember that.
But
yeah.
he was young though, wasn't he? Or is he old?
Marshall Rogers was in his 50s, so
Okay.
he'd be in his mid 70s now if he were still alive.
Speaking of cancer, I know you like your cancer sick.
God. I was about to say, what is he gonna say? What's he gonna
This stream went dark.
do? Rhaegar says, "I downvote if Zach shows his face." See, Rhaegar's telling all of his friends. He's like, "Hey, this guy's not on stream. Make sure you give them attention."
Wait a second, I got this. There's a joke here.
I'm sure there is. Rhaegar has friends.
No, Sports Ball and Comic Core. Zach saying, he got his car started. So far, so good. Maranya says, fingers crossed the car stays running well. Pixel says, my fingers are crossed as well.
Somebody standing next to him probably just got skewered.
Yeah, Englantine's car is gold then.
For those who are wondering out of context, what's going on here, I Love Comics says Ingleton decided to take his wife on a trip the other day driving her car. Did not once thought to look at the gas gauge as she's driving, because who needs to do that?
Right, especially in this day.
Ran out of gas. So, as I mentioned before, it's usually a bad thing because your fuel pump goes. And that's a $200 part plus $100 labor.
Plus labor, yeah.
Yeah. That's per hour for labor, though, depending where you go to.
If you're wondering why we're laughing about the fingers crossed bit, it's because
Pixel
has some really long fingers.
They call them
It's
pixel fingers, because Pixel has the normal twice the length of it's like this. That's a pretty long finger.
They're freakishly long.
Pretty freakish.
Yeah, it's like that. It just goes longer and longer. Jeez.
That's what she said.
Not to you though.
Nah, not to me. I'm not Pixel. Anyway.
All right, so that's our conversation on part 2, the last 3 issues, 474, 75, and 476 of Strange
Apparitions.
I want to tell you guys, I had to look through a crap ton of boxes to find these 3.
Oh, really?
I hope you appreciate the effort.
I you know what? It took me 20 to 30 seconds scrolling down that DC Infinite app just to get down from issue 1 going all the way up to the 474.
What this tells me is it's probably time to put these in some semblance of order.
Yep.
Probably.
Because I literally have 30-something boxes around. Where it
I'll be over in 14 hours, and then we can
listen. You can pay me, and I will come do to your comic collection what I'm currently doing to mine.
No, I've got them all bagged and boarded. I don't do that until I read them now.
Oh, okay.
Because that way, I mean, when I was amassing 55,000 comics, obviously there wasn't time to read them, and then because I was buying 100 new books a week or a month, so there was no time to read back issues. So I would just buy them, bag them, board them, box them.
See, I used to do the whole buy them and read them, and just then beg and board them. Now I just get them, buy them, beg and board them real quickly, and then I just read the digital. Because that way I don't have to worry about ruining it or whatever reason, or especially newer. Now this was with the new comics today, because whatever it is, the modern comic books starting from like the early 2000s, their ink runs. So I don't even want to get that on my hands or that stuff. So
well, I read very few books from the 21st century now, so that I don't really have that problem. Although today,
well, they don't exist anymore.
Well, no, the first decade did. I was reading I just cracked open a Brubaker Daredevil.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm sorry, Chip, you're not Ed Brubaker. So
yeah,
anybody
actually
says that he's the best since Miller hasn't read Brubaker.
I'm actually curious to read Brubaker's Daredevil because I've read some of his Captain America. I know he wrote an X-Men run that I actually really liked.
Yeah, he was the best writer Marvel has had in the 21st century.
And to hear about
I never read his Daredevil, and since crime noir is his thing,
yeah,
I imagine it's got to be really good.
It's really, really good.
And to hear what I thought about the current issue of Daredevil, issue 2, that came out this week, go check out the best comics of the week.
And I'm not knocking Zdarsky's run. I mean, it's pretty good.
But this issue, I said, this issue felt a little short because they wanted an oversized issue, put Anna Senti in there, with Zdarsky doing his art on her story, and then the list kind of got...
I waited when I picked it up. It's a huge ass book, though.
But I'm saying, but his story isn't that much like telling. It's like rehashing what happened in the last issue.
So is it?
Yeah,
well,
and
I have that to look forward to.
And then you get Anna Senti's like it's $6. $6.
Is it a short story like in the issue number 1 where it's like Elektra and Stick at the new hand base or the fist base or whatever?
You don't even get Elektra or Stick in this issue.
Oh, there's no Elektra in this issue? It's just Daredevil? Oh, okay.
I guess, yeah. I think not until the very end. Elektra pops up at the very end, but before this, it's all it is just him and that Guardian guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you something real quick. This is kind of funny the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Within last week, I bought some books and it had Daredevil 9, 10, and 11 from the run started by Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
The first Echo story. When I bought them, they were $285 and $50. Like 5 days later, I went to price them, and I had heard that the Echo series is going to be more about Daredevil and the Kingpin.
Yeah.
So I thought I would look just to see. 200 had become 95.
Jeez.
85 had become 30, and 50 had become 15. And I had I'm sitting on 2 number 9s that went from 400 to 190. I was like, God damn. What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be more about. It's almost kind of sad too. It's like you're gonna do a show about Echo, but it's mostly gonna be Daredevil and Kingpin.
So I'm another box in that same collection. I know it had the first Red Hulk, and that's still 85. Yada yada. First Planet Hulk, $50, but I pull out the 2008 Black Panther first 6 issues. Number 5, 150. Number 1, 200. Because the number 1's the first appearance of Shuri. Number 5 is the first full appearance as Black Panther.
Nice.
So it's like when I look through those books to buy them, I didn't even pause. I had no idea. I was getting ready to look up Winona Earp. And I thought, well, I've got these Black Panthers here and it's Marvel. So you always look. But I looked basically to see if I was going to put $2 or $3 on them. And I see $200 for number one. It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, She-Hulk prices. I think Dan Slott's. Like those 12 issues, did those go up at all in price?
A little
The
bit.
Dan Slott, that's the one they're modeling the show off of. I
Yeah,
believe.
the 2004 one.
Yeah.
I guess
from what I remember, I haven't read it in a while, but from what I remember, it was a pretty decent run.
I heard there's going to be a little bit of the John Byrne jokes in it, but not too much.
I caught the first episode today. It wasn't terrible. I like the fourth wall breaking that they did. They did just the right amount.
The $200 She-Hulk has nothing to do with the series.
Yeah,
it's just that cover is just highly sought after for some reason. I don't know why.
Is it the beach ball cover?
No, it's the jump rope cover.
Okay,
that's a good cover.
The beach ball one's worth money too.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys know what the Daily Beast is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Daily Wire.
Right. They crushed She-Hulk.
Really?
Yahoo did too.
But do you know why? They crushed it. Their biggest problem with She-Hulk was that the show rips off Fleabag by breaking the fourth wall.
That's funny. That's funny, Daily Beast.
Yeah.
I know. I talk to people that they think that Deadpool's the only one in Marvel that breaks the fourth wall. It's like, let me tell you something. Let me take you to school.
Yeah, that's
been doing that way before Deadpool was even.
It's bad enough that people say that, but now it's ripping off Fleabag. It's like,
what the hell is Fleabag? That's what I want to know.
It's a show that was on. Was it HBO or Stars? One of those.
I don't remember what show was on, but
I don't remember. Yeah,
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She's the one they put in charge of the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, that's right.
She's the darling of the young people that think Saturday Night Live is still cutting edge because they hate Drumpf.
Yeah.
I mean, my nephew who went to college, a Republican, and came out an activist, loves her. Enough said. I can only imagine just how wretched that show must be.
I haven't watched it, but for those who are curious about the She-Hulk and want some reviews, we'll have a spoiler review tomorrow night on the channel.
Oh, we are doing it tomorrow night?
Yep.
Okay.
It's gonna be early, before the reading.
What time is the reading?
Same time it always is every week.
Which is
8:30.
8:30. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because I'm going to be coming home from work.
8:30 Eastern.
8:30 Eastern. Okay, I'm going to try to make it home in time. I should be able to.
What time do you work till?
Well, it's house to house appointments, so it depends on how long the appointments go.
Because we're thinking around 6:30.
6:30.
Or
Okay.
7, yeah.
I should be able to.
6:30 Central, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have a time to aim for. Good deal.
Okay.
Well, what are we doing tomorrow night?
Well, the puppets are going to be on the channel. Froggy and Puppetina are reviewing She-Hulk. And then there is a reading tomorrow. I'm not sure what the reading is. That's up to Mr. Long Fingers guy.
Because I said it,
I imagine more Secret Wars because wow, the Beyonder, that one just took off.
Yeah, but
are we sure it wasn't my lack of being here?
But Beyonder.
Yeah, but what if Zach's on the reading?
Yeah.
Do we really want to risk that?
As long as we don't tell him he's here.
Yeah. by the way, Ash summed up Daily Beast perfectly.
What did he say?
Daily Beast for morons by morons.
It's like I said.
That's funny.
Whatever you like, you like. I ain't gonna judge you about it out loud.
Well, I didn't see Daily Beast.
You're allowed to judge the Daily Beast.
We're not allowed because I'll get in trouble.
No, they're so full of themselves but anyway.
What do I know? I'm an NRA guy. So
anyway.
Yeah, anyway. We've gone into the weeds, so it's time to get out of them. Ironically, we went in the weeds and Ash showed up in the chat.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to come onto the stream. He just has to show up in the chat and we go off into the weeds.
We go off into the weeds without Ash even around. What are y'all talking about?
Jesus
we don't need
Christ.
Ash. To
Just
go
go
into the weeds.
bag your books.
I
Bag
am
yourself,
bagging
too.
my books.
Bag yourself along with your books, bro.
Bag myself. That sounds weird.
Yeah, dude.
We need to do issue 4 of the first slot She-Hulk run.
Just
It's
climb into a
pre-scripted.
bag and pull the tape over you.
God, that went dark.
Put yourself in my light.
Rager, I'm pretty sure that's California. They come find you
California.
because it's legal now, apparently, isn't it?
What, weed?
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. There's a new
Not
state
in
that allows
Russia.
it all the
Ask
time.
Brittany Griner.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Well.
That's Russia, though.
It said Soviet Union. We'd come and find you.
I bag my books in the store before I even pay for them. Wow.
I do that. My shop actually
Ash,
is really
Ash.
cool.
I told Zach to do that, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bagging books right now. That's why he's making fun of me.
I've never been. See, if I did that, I'd be like, what the? That because you're not allowed to do that in my shop.
Well, see, mine will if you have a pull list, like, and you have a box in the back that you put
Yes, if they're going to, but a lot of times they'll give you your books. Your books are
yeah. If you go at my shop, if you go get them just off the rack.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, I don't think
they're already boarded.
It's not even. It's not. No, the only way you get a bag and a board if it's a extended cover, or you're buying a back issue. But all of them, some actually that's not true. Some of them are
the new ones. If you just go get one off the shelf, if you're not pulling one, if you just go get one off the shelf, it's not
even pull lists. They're not bag and board in my shops.
See, pull lists aren't, so you have to do that yourself. But if I was like a new guy that didn't have a pull list and I went into the shop, I could go get like Daredevil #2.
You could buy yourself a bag and buy their in the boards, but you can't do the shop though. That's just.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do your shops have any boards right now?
Mine do.
I mean, apparently they do because they're boarding the new book.
God, we had to cut Golden Age boards to bag this or to board the books that we put out.
Yeah,
and
I remember that. Yeah,
and I spent all day today taking the boards out of dollar books so I could use them on non-dollar books because apparently our shipment is walking itself down from Canada.
I don't know, but
I remember that being a thing last year. I remember the bag and board shortage.
Yeah.
When I was in Metairie, I had 2 shops that I went to, and they were both always running short on board. I think it was boards, or it might have been it was the bags. Because they had
bags.
Like the bigger size ones, but they didn't have the smaller ones, which I guess are the Silver Age ones.
Yeah,
maybe?
Silver Age are the bigger ones. The modern.
Oh, Silver Age are the bigger ones. Okay, so it was the modern ones they didn't have because they.
Everything was made better and bigger back then. Now it's compact, just like CDs.
But now if you put a modern book in a Silver Age bag, there's that loose space on the side that drives the OCD.
I don't put anything in the Silver Age bags. That's all, unless it's a Silver Age book. Or if I'm getting a book that's a slightly bigger, I'll put in a Silver Age book.
I always go one size bigger. So I put the modern books in Silver Age, and the Silver Age books in Golden Age backs. And the Golden Age books, Golden Age, but some of those are so wide they don't even fit.
If I find a Golden Age book, I'm not putting it in a bag. I'm just putting it in the vault.
Well, I've got Golden Age books that are worth.
Ziploc bag.
I've got a couple Golden Age books that aren't worth as much as a new comic right now.
Oh wow!
Because they're crushed.
You know what I've been using? Because Mariah says like she's the first thing I do when I get a bagged and a boarded a book is remove the tape so I don't want Engeltine syndrome attacking my books. I don't use normal bags anymore. I use the bags that almost killed Breen twice. I use the resealable ones.
Dude, when I find those, I love those because I don't have to mess with the Scotch tape.
I'm telling you,
those bags.
Yeah, and I want you both to be honest. 6 months from now, when you're you go into the bathroom in the middle of the night, take a piss, and you walk out and you go, "What's that on my foot?" And it's one of those tape strips. I don't care how good you think you are of catching them all, you don't. They'll show up for months.
Every single one I take up, either sticks your hands, I crop in a ball, and I put it in the trash can, and then I'm good.
You just think you did. You're gonna find one, I promise you.
I've got videos of I recorded it, sir. I know what happens.
One of those strips is gonna crawl into your shorts. I'm just telling you. I like using those too, honestly, but
they're easier to use, but I do see what you're talking about though. They do stick to your hand. Why am I a serial killer now? First I was a racist, now I'm a serial killer. Good Lord, y'all.
Well,
I mean,
pick a lane.
how about a racist serial killer?
I mean, would that be a Nazi, right?
I'm not adding anything.
See what I have to work with.
I don't find it too difficult. It's just
wait, you're working?
The resealables are
never not working.
I don't see a price gun in your hand.
I'm gonna take.
All right. Imagine playing scotch tape too. Oh, now you're on camera. Oh.
Yeah, now I'm on camera. I'm taking a break.
All right, good night, everybody.
Most of them are done.
Wow, we're down to one viewer.
Oh, sorry. Bye,
How
guys.
did we go to -5? Oh,
Oh, look, we're back up to 7. How do they know? It's not the same. Next time, borrow Pixel's finger for emphasis.
did he just flash us? I'm scared.
But
Anyway, we're going further into the weeds. We're now in the jungle now.
We are.
Leave that dislike, Rhaegar. I dare you.
And don't worry though, there's no Black Panthers in the jungle. That's sorry. Angleton moment there. Angleton moment. Sorry. All right. We are ending it tonight. I guess on a high note. I read 6 books that I like. This is the second part of it. The Joker's the Joker story. My only problem was that she looked like he was dating B. Arthur towards the end there in that last issue.
That was actually good. Okay, we do have a question though.
Oh,
A little piece of business that we have to take care of before we go.
all right.
What do we do next week?
Oof.
Same thing you do every night, Pinky.
Try to take over the world. That was a really bad brain impression. I'm really sorry, y'all.
See, I don't even know what that is, but I'll go Red and Snippy. You idiot!
I'm not doing the Happy Happy Joy Joy song.
Now we need somebody that can actually get their voice high to go. When we figure it out, we'll go, I know what I'm going to do today.
It's a log. Everybody loves log.
Look, it's a random platypus. It's Harry the platypus.
Platypus noises. I don't think that's how it goes, but that's the best I can do.
I don't know either.
Anyway, what are we reading next week?
Well, I'll tell you, Ferb. We're gonna read something that we haven't read before.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Like every week. I don't know. We've since we can't get Frugal, why don't we just read it without him? Or we could go.
Y'all still haven't read it.
You know what we should do? Born Again.
I don't have time to read all this.
That's a huge. Can we limit it to just
What?
one? 'Cause I was racing to read the 3 Batman issues.
All
right.
Born Again is like what?
It's
4 or 5 issues?
It's more like 7.
So, like I said, I don't do 3 parts.
Avengers 4.
Avengers 4. I like it. One issue.
Bleep Frugal.
Yes.
Nicest man on YouTube. If you're watching this, which I know you're not.
Or we could do something about Great Lake Avengers.
Avengers 4.
Avengers 4.
Besides, Frugal's probably not talking to me anymore after the comment I left on his son's latest dad joke video. I said proof that humor skips a generation. He said, Little Frugal's grandfather must have been really funny too.
I don't, Marania. Eventually, we will talk about the Armor Wars or Demon in a Bottle.
Demon in a Bottle, I'd be okay with, but if we're gonna do that, I would rather do the issue of Assistant Editors Month, where there's 2 stories, and one of them is about the little kids that play the Avengers, and they kick the little girl out. That's Iron Man because he's out of the Avengers, but the other one is a cop. This is while Tony's at the height of his alcoholism, and a cop bets him $50 that he can't stay sober until midnight.
Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about that one before. Yeah,
because is Demon in a Bottle is the more famous story because it has the catchier name. O'Neill's version fleshed out the disease part, and as someone who doesn't remember 2 years of his life, I can't really identify with Demon in a Bottle because basically when the problem really became a problem, it was like a CBS procedural. It was wrapped up at the end of the issue.
All right.
But then 4 or 5 years later, comics had grown a little bit more. And like I said, it's just tremendous. O'Neill tells a tremendous story of Tony's alcoholism.
Okay, we'll do that story 2 weeks from now then.
All right.
You'll just tell me what issue it is so I can read it.
I think it's 178. Marania could probably tell me that. I could look it up, but I think it's because it has the go-go checks on it because it has the DC tribute.
Doctor's Office, Dr. George quit drinking or soon he'll die. That's 178. For Struggle.
Let me look it up here.
I think that's what it is. Hey, look. Once an Avenger, always an Avenger. By
one, yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool. So next week is Avengers number 4. Annual number 4 or issue 4?
Issue 4.
Issue 4.
Team.
All right, so Avengers issue 4 next week, and then following that, Iron Man 178. It'll be the first time we read an Iron Man or even talk about an Iron Man story on this channel.
Yeah, I guess I will.
Yeah, and I think the next issue might be the one where said in the morning Tony Stark will either be sober or dead. Or that's maybe it's 180.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. I can see the cover in my mind. I just can't I can't remember the issue number.
No, it's maybe 181.
181 or 180 is
nope.
Guy Slime. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 182. That's another one I said. Because I said it, Tony's struggles allowed Jim time to try to grow into the role. Mm-hmm. And a couple of things that worked against him was Jim Rhodes didn't have the technical know-how of Tony Stark. So he had this great suit of armor that could do everything. He didn't know how to do any of it. Tony was too drunk. And by the time Tony sobered up, Rhodey had gotten paranoid because the frequency of the helmet was messing with his head. And he thought that if he asked for help, Tony would want to take the armor back. So like I said, it's just the whole expanded story is, like I said, I think it's the best run of Iron Man in the character's history. But yes, I get it. Let's say goodnight.
Good night, Casey.
That's what you get when you get me talking comics.
Yeah, the only one who's complaining is Rhaegar, saying 49 minutes later. Apparently, he has to wait an extra 9 minutes.
Well, he meant 40. He hit the wrong key.
Or he wants 49 minutes.
Or he does. Well,
That's the director's cut.
see now, yeah, Ash doesn't want it to end.
Yes. Now that we have 6 people, before we only had 3. Alrighty. Yeah, we're pretty much way off subject anyway. So, yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And I hope you guys had fun tonight. Drive safe and drink responsibly. Responsible.
And go over to I Love Comics. England Teen, I think, is about to do a She-Hulk episode 1 watch party. So if that's your jam, if that sounds like something that sounds like fun to you, go check
All
it out.
right. Is he gonna share his screen?
I have no idea. I think he and Dalton are there. They're just talking right now. So I don't know if they started yet.
All right.
Actually, Zach, the jam is my avatar.
Don't do more. See, here it says.
Don't do Born Again without. Okay, well there you go.
I'll tell you what.
He's our resident X-Men and Daredevil.
I said the next time I can't do a stream, since I can't stream with Ash, you can do Born Again.
There you go.
You know what? We actually might read that on the channel. It'd be fun to do. Read that on the actual Geeky Puppet Show. To read that.
It's
How can you make a serious comic and just totally make it horrible?
No, we could do it, but we could.
Come on, you need more Kingpin. You need more.
but it would be harder to manufacture the Yoks than it would be with what we usually do.
Eric just hates Frank Miller. That's what Ash is saying.
No, I love Frank Miller. It's Ash that I have a problem with.
I mean, I love Miller, but I'm not a fan of Frank.
Let me be Frank. Why do you want to be Frank?
As long as I can still get to be Zach.
All right, because no one else will be or want to. Good night, guys.
Good night.